Right then, for the next Ask Me Anything, and this question comes up quite a lot, and it's calories and tracking macros, or even tracking calories for that matter. Do you need to do it? Is it worth doing it? And what can you get from that? Well, let's dive in straight away and say that tracking calories is pretty much a waste of time, simply because there's no way of knowing how many calories you're burning each day. Well, first off, we don't get energy from calories, nor do we burn calories. We use energy, yes, but that is energy derived from chemical exchanges within our metabolism. We're not burning anything. We don't use heat in any way. If we was to use heat, calories are a unit of heat. So if we was to use heat for energy, then simply sitting next to the fire would give us energy. That's a source of heat. So heat would fuel us. That's not how it works. So calories are just non-existent, really. We should not go on any type of calorie scale. Everybody uses energy at a different rate anyway. All you're doing when you're counting calories is you're just starving your body of nutrition. You are starving your body of energy. So it is then looking for other sources, and it will, yeah, sure, you can lose body fat on a calorie-controlled nutrition. That is because you're starving yourself. You're basically tapping into your fat stores by way of starvation. And as many of you know, you cannot keep this up long-term. It is not a long-term solution for any type of nutrition. Short-term, yes, it could achieve a goal like body composition, but that's not going to last. Eventually, your body's going to want to come out of starvation mode, and you're going to want to start eating all of the same things that you was eating before you even started your calorie control nutrition. So calories are basically non-existent. Do not count calories. Don't even think about calories in any type of energy-derived way. You're not getting energy from calories. What you are getting energy from is nutrients. How our body converts nutrients into chemicals, into molecules, which get broken down throughout the Krebs cycle, throughout the metabolism within the body, get broken down to produce energy, to produce ATP molecules, which fire the muscles and give us that energy that we're able to expend. So you need vast amounts of nutrition, big nutrients, and the right nutrients to get energy. So you need to focus, instead of counting calories, you need to focus more on perhaps counting nutrients. And this is something that I will advocate when you're first starting off. So if you're first starting off as a beginner, it's always a good idea to spend maybe a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, counting what type of nutrients you are getting in, especially the big macronutrients like the proteins and the fats. It's always a good idea to work out what kind of foods include proteins and fats. If you're new to nutrition, you may not even know that what sort of foods are rich in fat and what sort of foods are rich in proteins. And you may not even know what foods are high in sugar, carbohydrates, such as vegetables, and a myriad of processed food are high in carbohydrates. But if you're new to nutrition, you may not know that. So it is worth checking packaging. It is worth looking deep into it when you first start changing your nutrition to work out what has big ratios of fats, big ratios of proteins, and also includes those foods with carbohydrates. So then you can start to limit those foods with carbohydrates in once you figure out the ones that have more in, less in, than you should be ingesting. But really, it should only take a couple of weeks to actually work out what type of foods you should be eating, including those fats and proteins. And along with those fats and proteins come a lot of the micronutrients that we was talking about. And there is plenty of essential micronutrients. You need to have a whole host of micronutrients to ensure your body, your metabolism can get energy the way it should. And within those fats and proteins, which are mainly found in the animal kingdom, which are mainly found in the animal world, if you're getting saturated fats, if you're getting animal proteins, along with those comes lots of the nutrients that the human body requires. They are essential. Big steak will tick a lot of the essential micronutrient boxes. This is where you often find people on a vegan diet or a vegetarian heavy kind of nutrition are missing some of these vital micronutrients and will have to supplement to ensure that the body can survive, because these are essential. You need to have them. So once you've figured this out over the course of a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, what sort of foods actually host the most micro and macro nutrients beneficial to you, beneficial to your goals, and beneficial to your optimal health, then you can start to plan around these foods. You can start to build your nutrition around these foods. And predominantly they're going to be animal foods, predominantly meat, because meat has most of the bases covered. So then you can build your nutrition around that. Then going forward, as far as tracking and as far as counting or writing down anything on a daily basis, you do not need to do this. There is nowhere, if you look back through history, caveman times, there is nowhere written upon the walls of caves saying we ate this much meat that day, we had rationed ourselves to this another day, we then had this much for breakfast, this much for tea, this much for dinner, this much for that lunch, that much for evening meal. Nowhere in history have humans ever counted the amounts of food, the amounts of nutrients, the amounts of energy they're getting from food, ever. So this is not required for human beings. What you should be more focusing on is, are you hungry? We was given a hormone called ghrelin. And this hormone tells us when we're hungry. It tells us when we're lacking in certain nutrients. It will give us the signal to go eat. Not the signal that we're bored, not the sugar signal that we're still addicted to sugar and we want something sugary, not that signal. That can be misconstrued for hunger. Once you've gone through the transition, you will really start to feel what true hunger is, especially when you go periods of not eating. Then you can start to feel that hunger hormone kick in and tell you, I am hungry now, let's eat. So as far as tracking and as far as accounting things go, you do not need to do this. All you need to do is listen to your body. Your body will tell you when it's hungry. Your body will tell you when you're missing certain nutrients, when you're missing energy. It will let you know. Just cue in to those signals. Build your animal-based, your meat-based nutrition to cover all the nutrient bases, to cover all the energy bases too. And you will thrive.